Hi, I'm Chris Madsen. You know how you are a consciousness, yet that consciousness cannot be touched, or you can't say, oh, there it is. You can say that about your body, and we can see how a person's emotional body is, and things like that, all of these effects. Now, in the same sense that consciousness itself cannot be seen with the five senses and such as when you're talking to someone, you know you're talking to a living being, but yet what you're seeing with your eyes is the temple, the body temple, the vehicle they're using. What you're hearing is the voice, like right now with me, you're hearing my voice, but that's not me. You're feeling the emotions, the energy that's being projected outwards from the being, but yet, again, that's not them. Those are things flowing through them. And in the very same sense that when you're looking at someone, you're not seeing the real them. You're seeing the car they're driving, so to speak, and the experiences that they're going through at the moment, and the emotions that are flowing through their system. And in that very same way, when we look at the world, we're looking at the vehicle that God is what God's using. Now, by God, I have to explain myself here, because first off, whatever definition we're thinking of that's God, it's far, 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 far more expansive than that. It's got, countless names. It's the I am, infinite awareness, all these different things. As soon as we say a name, what we're doing is putting it in some sort of box that we can grab onto. But in the very same sense that our consciousness, that is us, cannot really be named. You could say, well, it's awareness, but you're far more than just awareness. You could say observer, but you're far more than observer. You could say, well, I'm life. Yes, but you're far more than all that. And it's the same thing with this consciousness, infinite awareness, the nameless, we'll say. And so now when we're journeying on the planet, we're seeing all of these effects, all of these different things we're experiencing, right? But what I'm suggesting to you now is that in the very same way that you know that you are consciousness, you're aware, you're alive, that you can have a connection with this source, this super consciousness, God, the I am, whatever you want to call it. And first off, I have to preface it with, it has very little or no thing to do with any particular religion. You can have whatever religious beliefs you want, but yet still have this connection. And chances are, whatever religious beliefs you have at this moment, they're going to shift and change. You probably already have a zillion times in the past. What I'm talking about is the changeless. As a matter of fact, one characteristic of it is that it never changes. It's always constant throughout all infinity, eternity, whatever. So whatever you see or observe that does change, that's not the cause, the prime first cause. That's an effect. And so the reason this is so essential is because the essence of this force is love. Now love, again, it's a word that it really can't be defined because it is what I'm talking about. It's an aspect of it. But characteristics of it is unconditional giving, caring, compassion, mercy, joy, bliss, kindness, truth, wisdom. You know, as I'm saying these words, you're connecting with tentacles or facets or aspects of it in the very same way that if I say observer or consciousness or awareness, those are aspects of your true essence. And so now in the world that we are experiencing with our bodies, there are many places where mankind could improve the life journey for all of us on the planet. We are far from paradise on earth at this time. We have been anyway. Now, here is the solution, and I love solutions. The solution isn't, you know, all the things of using the intellect to somehow come up with something. The solution to the world's dilemmas, it's not an action or anything else. It's allowing this love to flow from our hearts. And as we do, the outside world of effects will automatically, just by default, kind of like gravity, you know, you let go of something and it goes to the earth. In the very same sense, as our hearts express love, the entire outside world changes. So rather than fight against things, emanate love out to them. For instance, I love the solution of an end to poverty. I would love for every being on the planet to be expressing love, to be thriving in abundance, to be filled with love, and to have just, you know, a beautiful life, right? And so I can send this love out. And as I do, and as I vision it, it actually creates the circumstances for that to occur. Because truly we are in consciousness. This consciousness that was spoken of earlier, it isn't just a neutral thing. This is how it works. This is how it reacts. I could say it this way: encoded within all creation is for every aspect of energy, everything that is, to respond as we vision and as we send this love out. It's incredibly powerful. And so we can change the world. We can have an end to suffering, literally. And It's not from work at it. It's from the heart flowing. And so I encourage us all now to go to that place. Now, just how we were talking about facets, like I was saying, truth, beauty, wisdom. Here is a beautiful truth that I've come to learn in meditation and such, is that if you hold on to one facet of what love is within your mind, all of the other facets, the wholeness of it, automatically come with it. For instance, if I'm in a meditation, I could be meditating, by the way, while I'm driving. And I hold compassion. I vision compassion. So now I heard there was an earthquake. So now I'm sending compassion. Yet with that compassion is mercy and is comfort to them and all these other things. Everything is attached to it that's required. Now, there are a lot of things in the world that offend me in a sense, or hurt me. It would be a better word. It's not offend me. Or they grieve me. That's even a better word. If I see people suffering, that hurts me, it grieves me. And now I've learned that rather than try to attack that which is doing the hurting, whether it's the Illuminati or whatever, rather than go there, now where I'm choosing to go is to love, because that is the answer. You could fight against something forever, and even if you win, you're still in the energy of you have suppressing, so you haven't won anything. The only way to win is exactly what Gandhi did, and Martin Luther King, and Mother Teresa, and all of these other beautiful souls. What they did is they stood for truth. They stood for this love. And so I'm asking you to join with me and say yes. This is not some sort of big, us against the world or anything. We are literally the light of the world. And here's the big thing here that's very, very important, is it has very little to do with the intellect. The ego wants to argue, debate, come into some sort of intellectual stuff. Don't let it, because it's the heart. The longest journey you'll ever take is listen from head to heart. So in every moment, realize this is my opportunity to learn. So wherever a person is resonating at, or a group or something, particularly if you don't like it, like GMO or chemtrails or something, know that there are a group of people that are hurting, that are not connected with this source yet. And so the real solution is for you to send them this love, to let them know that the universe and this source will supply. They don't need to have GMO foods. This very same source will bless us for the planet with fertile agriculture, more than enough food for us. To the military, we send our love knowing that as they become a force of peace and love with us, all the monies that were spent on the military alone, food, shelter, clothing, everything is already here. As we, rather than attack the oil industry further, we know that the same source has already provided us with free energy. So we move it, trust it. And as we hear of developments, we encourage them, grasp them, and as much as possible be listening. And so on. So we move in love. And that's how we get not only paradise on earth, but paradise within our own hearts. You are the solution the world is waiting for. Not here. Namaste. What namaste means to me is I see that love within you. And I'm like, it's the essence of who you are. Namaste.